And we are recording.
Hell no. Oh, that's right. Yes. Yeah. Good morning, Brad. Morning. How are you? I'll give it a shot.
Are you sure?
Confidence. Confidence, that's awesome.
I always got a car over there that much.
Oh, sweet.
Sherry just.
Oh, gotcha.
It's done.
Welcome to the BOCC meeting for July 7th. Would you rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please? Pledge of
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, welcome everyone. Agenda approval.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
First and second, call for the vote.
Commissioner Chamberlain?
Yes.
Commissioner Woodall?
Yes.
Yes.
Motion passes.
And consent agenda.
Anyway, on next agenda, I have the meeting minutes from the June 30th, 2026 meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Second, any discussion? Call for the vote.
Commissioner Chamberlain?
Yes.
Commissioner Woodall?
Yes.
Commissioner Woodall?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Find appointments.
Carry
Two
on.
members. Gary.
Hi, everybody.
Okay, thank you.
That's what counts, right?
Yeah.
You can't believe how many people butcher the way I spell my name.
Oh, yeah, I believe it. I believe it.
Testing? Okay. So this is the quarterly report to Peaks Fitness on the Walsenburg
Can you
Fitness
state your
Center.
name? Can you state your name also?
I'm sorry, this is Carrie Myler with Two Peaks Fitness. This is our quarterly report to the county commissioners for the Walsenburg Two Peaks Fitness facility. Well, let's see what's going on. What's new that's going on might be better, because a lot of stuff is the same. We have just this past week made some adjustments to headcount. We're implementing split shifts in Walsenburg, so our staffed hours beginning July 1st are 8 to 11 and 4 to 7. So that is during the busiest hours. We also are hoping, trying to train somebody from the Senior Community Service Employment Program, which is called SEP, who claims he's used QuickBooks sometime in his life. So we'll see if we can staff the desk during some of those non-staffed hours. So we'll start training him onto the staff. This should help us with our payroll costs, which are our biggest costs. If you look at the reports, you can see the gym memberships are pretty Pretty stable. I mean, they've been over 110. They haven't gotten over 120 this year. So it seems to be kind of a stable time. Our highest months for memberships, usually consistently, and that's only looking at like a little over 2 years of history. April's usually a good month. June tends to be a good month. Sometimes July. It just kind of varies. Our highest time is usually in the winter, which is what we expected. If you look at usage, which is this next chart over here, on the page all by itself, it's not too bad. So we had 890 people sign in to visit as visitor using the facility last month. One thing our staff has done there is they look at the sign-in sheets and then they put the highest, 10 highest sign-ins on the whiteboard to kind of make it a little competitive. So that's kind of interesting. We are working on our summer newsletter. About 30% of our memberships are low income as of the end of July. Or excuse me, beginning of July, 34 out of 115 were low income. Our operating account is a little lower than it was at the end of March. You can see that on this page here before all the pretty pictures. And that's really this past for June. We did the staffing changes in June. We had higher one-time costs. We had to pay somebody's accumulated PTO because they were leaving, at which point we decided to just move to change our whole staffing plan. And because of their leaving, we had some higher one-time costs in, we have people trained this. We don't have staff just man the front desk that they can fill in. So we had higher filling costs than we usually do. So we expect these both to go down starting in July. We'll see what happens. No new equipment yet. No, or since the last time, and no new Google videos. Any questions?
Well, I like that the usage is steady. It looks like it's growing a little bit.
Yeah, I'd like it to go higher. I mean, it's kind of interesting because the population of Walsenburg is a lot higher, of course, than the population of Levita. The membership in Levita consistently is a lot higher than the membership of Walsenburg. So we're trying to wrap our arms around that. But we know about it. And we have a newsletter. We mail that to everybody who's ever walked in the door. Email that. We have it available at the library. We have it available at the gym, printed copies. We're advertising on KSVK and the World Journal. It's kind of like, okay, what else do we need to do to kind of get interest? When we first started, we did a one-time mailing to the post office. Maybe that's something to consider because that made a big impact 2 years ago.
Did you track
Because there's
that?
still people that don't know we were there.
Yeah. Did you track that? Get much of a number on that mailing?
The membership numbers went way up after that. It went out, let's see. It went out in October of 2024. In October of that year, we had 90 members. In November, we jumped up to 105. So that was a significant percentage increase. And we've never, we've been above 105 ever since. So we probably need to do, take those payroll costs we're saving money on and put that into another mailing.
Yeah. So
That's what we're looking at.
okay.
Any other questions?
Well, you're doing a good job. I know quite a few people that use the gym and I nothing but good things about it.
Yeah, we get a lot of, everybody's excited about how clean it is. They're so they're very thankful that there is a facility because, you know, it's kind of been a spotted history in Huerfano County getting fitness centers to stay around. So, you know, we're a little over 2 years into this and, almost breaking even. So that's, yeah, within $1,000 a month I can handle.
Yeah.
So it should be better going forward. So I'm hoping
Good.
so.
Yeah, try that mailing. That
Yeah,
might really be a good push.
yeah, I'll talk to our board about that. Get somebody to update the flyer we did a couple of years ago.
Around New Year's when everyone's doing their resolutions.
Yeah.
Well, the problem with New Year's is everybody's paying off their credit cards from Christmas.
Yeah, good point.
So it's really February before people say, oh yeah, that
Yeah,
New Year's
made a
resolution, I guess I better do something about it.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, we always have a special in January, February, buy your membership. It's half price. That's one of the times we try to do it. We try to do it going into the summer months. And sometimes we do it going into the fall. It just kind of depends on what the traffic's like and what we think, what opportunity we'll get out of that.
Good.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Carrie.
Appreciate it. And on to, all right.
Morning.
Good morning.
So today I have for you a CUP permit number LU-26-000109 for swear. What we have is they are looking for a conditional use permit to pursuant a Huerfano County Code Section 11-18 for an off-grid wedding venue. It's a development. The site is addressed at 1180 County Road 620.1, and the parcel number is 10157. What they've got up there on the property, the property was purchased by the Swear family back in March 25th. It did have a previous building permit on it. The permit number was BP-21-016. And that was for Von Bachman, is where that building permit was. That property, that building was never complete, that residence. And so in April or something of this year, we went before the Huerfano County Building Authority Board and had the permit transferred into the Swears family's name. And they're taking on that permit to finish that home. Then we just had a meeting with the Planning Commission about the conditional use permit, and they recommended to bring this before the Huerfano County Commissioners, and they request the commissioners with approval of this permit with the conditions that no open flames and that the property owner has appropriate permits for any structures being utilized during events. The applicant is present with us today. If you guys have any questions, I'm sure she can answer anything for you as well.
How long do you plan on doing this? Is it just for this year, or is this going to be long?
No, this could be a continual.
Do you want to talk to my?
Yes, no problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
The plan is to.
State name for the record for people online.
Naomi Schwer. The plan is for this to be an ongoing business. And the goal is to bring an affordable kind of DIY wedding option to the local community pretty much. I did have one question on amending the verbiage of the conditional open flame. Since that meeting 2 weeks ago, I've done a lot of research, and the state of Colorado has a lot of very safe options in terms of how to build, like for instance, a propane open flame with 10-foot diameter stone around it kind of thing. And so what I'd like to change it to, if possible, is with written permission from Tanner or whoever is the fire marshal or fire department, to have an open flame given their written permission. I've tried to contact Tanner the past 2 weeks, which I feel like is asinine of me considering what's going on right now. He's so busy. And this topic can wait. I'd love to kind of brainstorm with him on a safe option, but this can wait till November, for instance. So I'd love the verbiage to be changed to with written consent from them or him, instead of what it is now, if possible.
I don't have a problem with that.
That is a situation too right now where we also do for permanent current burn pits and fireplaces and stuff, outdoor fireplaces. That is something that we would inspect as a building department and have the fire department consent on that. So that is something that we've done in the past.
So it could be like a condition that one is inspected by the building department and two, direct permission from the garbage.
Yeah, I'd be totally fine with both. Again, we live there, so we're the most interested in making sure that this is safe. But yeah, having kind of that at a wedding venue, having that ambiance kind of thing is a nice addition. But again, the stone and the propane, there's just ways to keep it very safe according to the state of Colorado, which I'd love to work on with the building department and the fire department, but now it's just not the time to have those discussions given what's going on.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're so busy, it's just, prefer to wait on that, but just to have the
Appreciate
verbiage
that.
changed to the option given permission by both kind of thing.
Yeah, I have suggestions about how to word that. I wouldn't word that like that, for a few reasons.
How would you word it?
So in your fire ordinance, you have allowance for the station fire protection for fires to be allowed in developed campgrounds, picnic areas, or park residents containing within stoves, fire pits, or appliances that are filled with propane or natural gas and cleared at least 3 feet of all flammable materials with flame lengths not exceeding 2 feet. The flame must be completely and immediately extinguished by activation of the switch valve and or tip over fire safety switch. Then it follows that immediately by if fire is required to do business or if chainsaw work is necessary, for example, a barbecue restaurant or a welding shop / mitigation work, then said business must mitigate their property to meet guidelines set by or have written approval of the fire protection district having jurisdiction commensurate with the size and location of the fire and the level of fire restriction enacted. So if you guys can direct us to come up with appropriate language, I think open flame is a little bit too restrictive, but also I don't want to make them jump through unnecessary hoops either.
Make it very clearly defined.
So something like no open flames, no, so I can think of some language like that. Organize a bit. I have it in my head right now though.
So
Yeah.
it would look like the director of staff can put language for use of fire.
Inappropriate.
Okay. That I will make a motion to approve permit number OU -26-000109. And then direct staff to come up with language to prevent the use of flames. Open fire.
Second.
All right.
Second.
For like, and then
Is there any other conditions you have on the building permit?
Just that any structures, temporary structures have proper permitting.
And I'll amend my motion to include that director of staff could proper permitting as well.
Second.
Yeah.
So what we'll do is we'll bring that language for approval. Before you head to the applicant.
Ryan's raising his hand.
Okay, who?
Brian,
Oh, Brian, go ahead.
My fault, gang. I was an accidental hand raised. I have no objection to this.
No, hey, thank you, Ryan.
thanks, Ryan. At least we know it works.
Yeah. Talk to you later, I'm sure.
Thank you.
Okay. So with the amended and the amended second and
That's raising.
oh, no one else, sorry. They said someone
Dale,
else.
Dale has this.
Oh, Dale did. Okay. Dale?
Can you hear me?
There you are.
All right. I don't remember. Is all the water for this application hauled water?
Yes.
And would it be unreasonable, like we used to do for the marijuana growing facilities, to have water storage available for fire mitigation? We included that when we did all those marijuana grows, as I remember. Maybe Carl remembers better than I do. There was a certain amount of water we asked them to have in storage. I'm not sure that's possible where they live, but it was a thought I had listening to this. So thank you.
Yeah, I think anything's possible given the proper infrastructure. Now, the cost of building the infrastructure to store that kind of water would be a little bit of a hit. I'd prefer to just make sure that the county, the state fire, the fire marshal, whoever's in charge, and the building department approve what we're doing. Their approval should kind of insinuate that it is safe. And if it isn't safe, we won't do it at all, kind of thing. That should be the for sure the verbiage. I'm not sure what the infrastructure looks like to hold as much water. I don't even know the amount of water that we need to hold. To me, if it is approved in terms of safety, it would seem a little bit like maybe a waste of stored water to some extent. If it's like 2,000 gallons, I don't know what what it would
Do
seem.
you have a
like.
cistern or?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
We're gonna have 3 cisterns.
Oh.
So a
There
lot
you
of,
go. You got water storage.
yeah, a lot of water storage in general, and a lot of water accessible on the property at all times, but not, I don't think that we would necessarily plan to build a water system specifically for that off the bat. That's not something we have in our business plan in terms of our
I think
budget.
access is the bigger.
Yeah, there's plenty of access to lots of water, but there just isn't an assigned cistern system especially for that just sits on the side and kind of waits there. But there are lots of water sources.
Okay.
And there's a well. I mean, we're not going to use the wells for the home. That's not for use for the venue at all. We're hauling all of that, but there are like backup,
Okay.
if
That's all
something-
part of the,
Yeah,
part of the back.
yeah, there's a lot of backup.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Brian raised his hand again.
Brian?
This is an accident.
I think that's an excellent.
Yeah. Hi, good morning. I just wanted to, along with Dale's notes there from the planning and zoning, in recent events last summer here in Huerfano County, applicants were still required to have close to 4,000 gallons of water on their event sites with no fire being permitted. That is access for the fire department, so the water is there ready if needed, not just because. There's a reason for that storage of water on the event.
Okay.
That's just some recent policies. I would love to see that changed, but that's what most of us are already conforming to.
Sounds good. Yeah,
Thanks, Ryan.
things there. Yeah, are your cisterns, how big are your cisterns?
I don't know about this. The second 2 are going in October. I don't know how big those will be. We can probably plan to make sure that there are. Is that I couldn't quite hear. Is that a regulation for any event? Is that an official, like by law, you must have 4,000 gallons?
Some I don't remember, but I think that was a condition that was based on Ryan, because he applied for a temporary event permit, temporary assembly permit. Let's look.
Yeah, we got to check for sure.
Okay. And you said it was a tender? Was it tender?
Was for an event.
Oh, that was for a temporary. Gotcha.
Yeah, like a bigger
Yeah.
event.
Yeah, it was with the permanent, business running. Again, us working with the county to make sure that everything that is set up is totally safe. If there aren't regulations around it, we would like to depend on that communication and then coming to check that and everything, the infrastructure to then have to make sure that we have 4,000 gallons on hand, all of that. It's an extra lift for us, which again, if it's the law, we will of course do, but if it's not mandatory, we would probably forego until it's part of our business plan.
I think one of the differences between a temporary assembly permit and something that's more permanent is temporary stuff. There's lots of parking. out in
There's
the
so many
grass.
more
There's-
variables. Yeah.
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 Something that's
absolutely.
permanent is a little bit different.
Yeah, and the way we've designed it in the map too, it's very clear where everything is. It's not moving around. It's all there, so, yeah.
Anything more, Ryan? Or
Yeah, I mean, I'm totally in favor of all of that because again, I believe safety should also be part of the owner's responsibilities. That's what we were doing that for ourselves as well. But I would just like to point out that temporary or not, we had 75 people on a property and we had to have 4,000 gallons of water at a fire crew with no fire. So if you're going to allow a permitted fire, I also believe that they should have water storage there so that in case a fire breaks out, and which we've seen, that there should be water storage at the event. I don't have a problem with fire. Obviously, you know that my safety record with fire is high. So, but and I guess my like if you're not going to require her to have water, I don't think you should require me to have water. They're even further off the highway than I am.
So
That's totally fair.
actually, it's not,
Oh,
because
okay.
your building that's built permanently, you could have, your requirement could be much higher than his. He did a one-time event.
Gotcha.
So that actually.
But we didn't have a fire. If you're going to use fire,
I'm speaking.
right, you might hold off for a minute.
sorry.
So. Okay, so how things work here, that something that's built out, this isn't everything that they are required to do. Because in order to get that approval, they're probably gonna have to show how much water they have. Basically, by going through a permanent route, there are some advantages, things like that. In Ryan's case, if I remember correctly, and granted, it's been a little while, that gallon of water number, I think it came from his application. I think it came from his application. I'm not certain of that, but I think that's where it came from. And also because there was a lot of concern raised by his neighbors about the potential for incidental fire. No neighbor concerns here.
Inappropriate concern is how that should say.
Doesn't matter.
No neighbors in our.
A lot of
Yeah. It unfortunately, it feels like something that shouldn't make a difference, but it does. If the neighbors aren't concerned about something, then the reasoning for putting things on changes.
Yeah. I mean, concern is definitely, I feel like the entire state should be concerned. And we are the most concerned because we live there for sure. But, yeah, I mean, we currently have 2,000 gallons of storage on the property built in. The plan is to have 2 more cisterns put in. So with the size of those, we don't quite know yet. But, yeah, if it's not a legal regulation, we'd like for it not to be in the official documentation, but we plan to have water storage, and we currently have water storage on the property.
And in going through the steps to get to having open flames be a thing on the property, you will likely have some sort of water storage, some sort of requirement. Not necessarily has to be dedicated to fire, but they're probably going to want to see that.
Yeah, I mean, in working with the fire department and the building department,
Right.
like that's just what I would hope. I just want the time. I'd like to have the permit so we can begin to run the business and advertise, but we're not operational until April next year. So those conversations and building that infrastructure can go over the next few months. And while the fire department is so busy on other things this is so nominal compared to what they're dealing with, that we'd rather just have the time to discuss that with them. But it should very much restrict us in the verbiage that with written approval from both departments. Like I'd like both departments to agree. And until we have that written approval, we don't even talk about it. But I'd like the time to work with them on that. We do that back and forth once they free up.
Person that Ryan's thoughts did bring up, is there a maximum number of people that'll be set for your events?
Yes, 150 max.
With other Ryan too. Okay, it's part of the trade.
Yeah.
Just other Ryan.
Okay. So do we have the proper conditions and pursuant to make sure there's enough water via the building permit and Tanner and
I think so.
fire departments?
Okay, we'll bring that language back to you before we find you have to get the approved permit. But I think we should do that.
Yeah, and you can also put in the verbiage too that whatever, propane fire, outdoor fire situation we do build, that will also be cemented, like permanent. But that won't move around either. So it's kind of like figure out what works for them, what's safe, put it in, don't mess with it. Yep.
Very good. Okay. And do you have enough, Anna, on the verbiage on this? Maybe.
Motion to approve permit number LU 26-00109 and use permit for fires with staff elected to come up with and fire restrictions and a condition that all structures on the property as terminated.
That's my motion.
Okay, for a second. Any other discussion? Alderman Lowe?
Commissioner Chamberlain?
Yes.
Commissioner Widow?
Yes.
Chairman Spillier?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. Did good. Okay, on to action items.
All right, Commissioners, question after you. If my letter got misplaced here. Well, there should be a letter here for you to sign for the Space Beach Outdoor Coalition. They are applying for a grant to continue their work. They're applying for a capacity only grant through Colorado Outdoor Regional Partnerships Program. So they are hoping to use those funds for ongoing convening and coordination, as well as to implement the regional plan that they're currently working on, and hopefully get some projects on it.
Yep, I spoke with them briefly on Friday. So I will make a motion to approve the letter of support for the Spanish Peaks Outdoor Coalition.
Second.
First and second, any other discussion? Call for the vote.
Commissioner Liddell?
Yes.
Commissioner Cheney?
Yes.
Yes.
Motion passes. All right, and then I have you vendor run. You just vendor run. Any total $47,890.76.
Make a motion to approve DHS vendor run for July, amount of $27,892.76.
Second.
First and second, any discussion? Call for the vote.
Commissioner Cheney?
Yes.
Commissioner Liddell?
Yes.
Commissioner Wood?
Yes.
Motion passes. All right, and then I have you the rest of the county's vendor run in the amount of $699,188.01.
I will make a motion to approve the July 2026 vendor run for the rest of the county in the amount of $699,188.01.
Second.
First and second, any discussion or question? Call for the vote.
Commissioner Liddell?
Yes.
Commissioner Cheney?
Yes.
Yes.
And that'll be in the packet.
Okay. On correspondence.
All right, first I have your June 2026 Cold Water monthly volume report. Your June 2026 GBID building register. Your June 2026 GBID system total report. I have the results from the compensation study. So there's both the methodology, the analysis, and a report from HRX, the Community Employees Council. You have the July 2026 quarterly newsletter from the Huerfano County Historical Society. A CTSI update on 2026 workers' compensation legislation overview. A letter from the First National Bank in Trinidad, Huerfano County branch, regarding a school drive. Annual e-balance report.
Right. On public comment. Public comment will have up to 3 minutes to present your public comment. Please address the board through the chair. Come to the podium at the mic. People online and associated with the 3 minutes. You will have 3 minutes to make your comment. At the end of 3 minutes, I will ask you to wrap it up and we will start. Mr. Pacheco.
My name is Ronald James Pacheco. And I'm here to let you know I just got through going through the Denver appeals, giving them my response to order to show cause. The cause is that exactly what the county's been doing to my family's land and water rights, which I believe is unethical, unconstitutional, as well as not right for anybody to be done what I have to go through, like the Moore Grant, the numbers 1475. And sorry about the your guys' copier over there is a little bit on the fritz, I could tell. I just got it from your copier. Sorry. But I could read the best I can with what I got. But like I said, the Moore grant patent is 1475, and the fails notes something about that. The lower courts ignore the general field notes and prioritize fraudulent back book 6 entries, which is 6, and your guys' records are all just wrong. They're just wrong. Lower courts wanted to write the property to themselves as they ignored the sovereign land patent number 1475 and senior water rights priority 10, 15, and 20. The estate provides these unidentified and federal absolute proof that the lower court's actions are void. For Jose Miguel Pacheco, his number is NMNMAA 009001. The BLM identifier confirmed that the patented Moore grant and boundaries in 1835. The 1869 surveyor's field notes verifies the land and water has been in use for beneficial use. Has the land been kept up, fence and poles? The notes also been addressed in that survey. Also in 2867, that's township 28 and range 67, as well as township 28, range 68, same. The establishment of the Pacheco ditch was in the 1860s in the basin to cultivate and soil. And the soil that the number 105 has today been altered. The 1835 Act of Possession and confirmed by the Act of Congress, which makes probate records legally subordinate or unauthorized. 1871 Thomas Means survey, violation of vested rights, sovereign rights. Is that what's that?
You're 3 minutes.
Oh, you're kidding me. I just went to page 2. Sorry about that, guys. Anyway, you got a little document, but you guys need to fix some ink on that printer over there, just let you know, okay? And you guys have a wonderful day.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And don't forget the water rights are right there and everything else. And right now, I'll help you this. All right.
Thanks, sir. Okay, anyone else on the line?
Thank you.
No, I'm lying.
All right, on the reports, and administrator.
I'm going to let Robert handle this one.
Oh, fun.
Let's set that time again.
Yeah.
Sure, time for 3 minutes. Yeah, fair enough.
How much coffee do you have this morning?
I'm gonna have coffee today.
Might be, maybe.
Yeah, might be able to make it. Well, good morning, everyone. I have had 2 of the 8s though, black cherry beans.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
Under 200 milligrams.
Under?
Correct.
You get a false sleep later, could have been.
No.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Commissioners, as you're aware, since I came back from PTO last Monday, we've been dealing with a couple of different fires in the county and in our region. Big Sheet Fire started last Monday. That fire is now 100% contained. We did have plenty of help from CDFPC on that. We did a fire protection district, Upper Huerfano and Huerfano Fire, all responded to that. Major progress was made on that really quickly, and they got ahead of it. We were benefited a bit from terrain in that on 3 sides were burnt scar from the Spring Creek fire, and on the other side was rock face. So the primary fuels there were one small section that didn't burn in Spring Fire, which they essentially just did a burnout operation on and got rid of during the progression of Big Sheet Fire. Putting that to bed for the moment, we have lifted the pre-evacuation notice for Big Sheet Fire. Moving to Aspen Acres, our area, a small area of the Bartlett Trail subdivision is still under mandatory evacuation as of now. We are working with Pueblo County on that, so it would be folded into Pueblo County's Disaster Assistance Center. Their DAC, and the reason for that is we're dependent upon Pueblo County's roads being accessible and open for people to get back into that area. Everything in the upper Huerfano, east to I-25, along Highway 69 and along Red Rock Road is still in a fire and smoke advisory at the moment. That is the step below pre-evacuation. We do not have any areas on pre-evac at the moment. That is something that is still being evaluated constantly as we're in communication with the Pueblo Emergency Operations Center and the Alaska Incident Management Team and tracking the fire progression ourselves along with those communications and those briefings. Myself and my team have run for the last 12 days or so, 10 days or so, without much of a break or stop. I've tried to give a day off here and there, or even a couple operational periods off here and there. Different people in that time frame, we did relocate one of our dispatchers who would have been traveling through the smoke plume here for a few days to be able to help them be available and help us. We have tried to mirror the messaging that comes out of the Pueblo EOC from their Pueblo PIO, Public Information Officer, and from Alaska's IMT. Alaska's IMT currently has command over the incident. So anything that relates to the incident that also then relates to Huerfano County, ultimate direction and decision will come in combination of Huerfano County government, Huerfano County Sheriff's Office, and the Alaska IMT. There are various different support roles that we've played in the last few weeks, or last week and a half with these fires. For instance, this morning we set up support with the Salamander system, which is the rapid tag system that handles reentry cards. Pueblo's DAC was overrun yesterday with residents that they'd evacuated trying to get those cards, and they had at one point in time 4-hour delays. They've put in resource order requests for additional printers and computers to be able to set up additional stations and lines. Part of this problem is that there's a bit of a monopoly on how this software and equipment works, and the licenses are tied to physical devices. So you can't just have additional devices and add a license. You have to have a license and the device and get it together and have it functional that way. We do have 2 of those. We did send both of them up, and they are in service now in the Pueblo DAC. We'll keep them there as long as they need them, unless we were to need them down here, and then we would pull them back. Pueblo's Emergency Operations Center and myself have been pretty tied at the hip for the last, I mean, in general we are, but the last week and a half especially. Josh Johnson, who's their emergency services coordinator, Chris Hunter, who is his deputy, and I talk daily in addition to the briefings that we're on daily. We handle things as they come up often. The most significant part of this fire so far for our county, which is part of the reason for the evacuation in the Bartlett Trail subdivision, is that last Thursday night, the fire made a sudden run due to weather conditions that were favorable to push the fire southeast into Colorado City and Rye. Resources were packed at that moment already. So strike teams from Gardner Fire, as an Upper Huerfano Fire, Rye, I believe Rocky Ford, and a few other places, all went and hit that southeast section between midnight and 1 a.m. Thursday night, and stayed there for anywhere from 12 to 17 hours fighting that without a break or a stop, and we're able to head that off. That's part of the reason why Colorado City is better off than it would have been. So a huge shout out to our locals, our regional partners, our volunteers. In one particular case, we had a dispatch supervisor who also is a volunteer firefighter who worked a 12-hour shift here, had a 3.5 hour break, and then went and did a 16-hour run on the fire. So there's been tons of responders in our community and elsewhere from other states who have been coming in and working nonstop on fire and doing everything that they can. From a more mission critical aspect, the fire, Aspen Acres Fire, currently has 2 spurs pushing west, one St. Charles Peak, one southeast of St. Charles Peak. We are actively monitoring those and monitoring any of our communities that would be impacted in northernmost Huerfano County. We've been in touch with places like Mission Wolf, for example, to go over their evacuation plans, see what resources they might need. And we just rest assured we're monitoring and doing everything that we can. It's the end of my report, minus questions.
Questions? Thank you guys for all the work you've been doing.
Yeah, exactly.
You've been doing an excellent job in coordinating stuff.
Thank you.
Thank you to all our firefighters as well for the work that they do.
Thank you.
You do amazing work, lots of hours.
Thank you.
Scary situation. It's ridiculous.
The whole team is as well. And then shout out to Carl Young, who also worked all through the weekend doing various things. Went to the Levita Fairgrounds. We've been sheltering large animals there too as overflow for some of the areas in Pueblo. Pueblo does have 2 places that they have sent, but when Alaska first got involved, Alaska was just pulling from a list of available areas and sent some this way. And in some cases, with the way the smoke plume was acting, it made sense. So we still have a small number of animals. I believe it's a little under 20 or right around 20 over at Levita Fairgrounds. So that is available. I know that the public has asked questions about sheltering or getting information in Huerfano County. One of the reasons that that was not done has to do with when we were fighting Big Sheep Fire. We had a ton of resources in on Big Sheep Fire, as well as it was the height of tourist season for 4th of July, and a lot of our hotels and Airbnbs were already full at that point, or very close to full. We had worked, however, with Los Animas County, and we did have availability to push people into hotels in Los Animas County had we needed it. So I just want you to be aware that it was not something that was ignored. What we had evaluated was that if we would use the Huerfano County Community Center in Walsenburg as a bit of a relay point if we needed to, send people there to get information who were then being sent further south. That is not something that we had to put into place, but I just want you to be aware that that contingency is discussed. No, I said that. It's a contingency we are not putting into place. Yeah. But it is something that was discussed.
Or not.
The word was there. Or at least in my head it was there.
I heard that. I heard that.
You heard not? Okay. Okay. Let's confirm that. We are not.
Pretty sure.
We're not. We're relay. With that though, that's the end of my report. Minus questions.
Thank you, Robert.
Is there a timeline or a dedicated time when they're going to make online the situation when they're telling about what's happening at the fire through Pueblo? Do they have a dedicated time frame?
Pueblo County is doing press conferences Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 3:30 p.m. For public information. The Alaska team is pushing out updates every morning and every evening, usually around 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. We are posting updates. Sometimes we just share the Alaska team's update. If we have news that's specific to our county, we add it. Beyond that, I'm on morning and afternoon briefings with the Pueblo EOC, and that usually results in some kind of action item that we do at that point.
Good. Okay. Anything else, Carl? You're stepping over.
As we have things we're putting up to the public, Robert is describing a lot of the background things he's doing. It doesn't necessarily mean it's a thing public facing is going to happen. But like Robert said, we're following things that happen on our accident. We're just monitoring things and helping support the areas of our county that are directly impacted because of the evacuation of things of that nature.
Good.
Yeah. And all the briefings and stuff that they are giving, they have a dedicated Facebook page, Aspen Acres Fire 2026.
Excellent. Anything else? And nothing from the county attorney. No need for executive session. And we do have upcoming meetings, administration workshop, and at 11 o'clock land use workshop, 11:30 IT workshop, and at 1 p.m. strategic planning workshop. Sounds very official. So with that, I'll entertain a motion to call for adjournment.
So moved. Second.
First and second, call for the vote.
Commissioner Shambo?
Yes.
Commissioner Wendell?
Yes.
Commissioner Blair?
Yes. At 10:52, we are adjourned. Oops. Perfect.